All right, guys. Our next guest is the #4 ranked middleweight in the UFC now with a big fight with Darren Till, targeted for UFC Fight Night on December 5th. Roll out your Oscars because the Joker is in town. Jack Hermansson, welcome back to Submission Radio. Dude, second appearance in a short period. I feel like we're very lucky.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be back.
Absolutely, man. The pleasure is all ours. Now, of course, before we talk about this big Darren Till fight, we do have to address UFC 253, which happened just yesterday. We want to get your thoughts on it. So let's set the stage. Where were you? Who were you watching it with? Set the scene for us. Is it like a dark room with like one light billowing out of the TV while you're sitting there studying it? Or are you there having a party with all your friends?
No, because of the time difference, I'm always watching it Sunday morning with my breakfast. So my girlfriend was sleeping and I was just by myself. Woke up early and was watching it with my breakfast. So it was a couple of great fights and a really good one. Of course, the middleweight title fight.
Okay, nice. Before we talk about that, is there ever a moment where you're like watching a fight and you're like, oh, making Joe Rogan screams, and your girlfriend's like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. I love you, but shut up.
I'm trying to keep it down, but it's hard sometimes for sure.
Must be funny, man. It's like sometimes when we do interviews here, it's like my girlfriend will be like, "Can you be quiet over there?" I'm like, "I'm talking to Jack Hermansson in the other room. All right, he's the #4 middleweight in the world. I think I can be loud right now." But talk to us about that main event, man, because I know before this fight happened, you were picking Paulo Costa to beat Israel Adesanya. So break it down for us. What did you think he was going to do? And were you surprised about the game plan and how it actually turned out?
Yeah, I thought that he was gonna go berserk on him. He was gonna go forward and swing and just be like no respect at all. And then you see just like, okay, it's a 5-rounder. He's gonna pace himself, and he stands on the distance. And Adesanya just shines in this fight. He looks so good. And a really great performance by Adesanya. But I thought that Costa was going to take a little bit more risks, if you will, and charge forward a little bit more. I was picturing him push Adesanya to the fence and go to the body and finish to the head, like he does. But at the same time, to Adesanya's credit, he's so good with change of directions when you try to chase him down. So it was hard for Costa to get this aim in, and Adesanya looked better than ever.
Yeah, one thing that we all noticed, and we were sort of talking about it in our WhatsApp group, because here in Melbourne we're all in lockdown, was that when Costa was entering, he seemed a little bit different. He seemed a little bit nervous. I remember in Anaheim, him walking after the Romero fight, he was just beaming with confidence. Here, something was different. I'm wondering if you picked up on it as well, and I'm wondering also, how much of it do you think was due to Costa's game plan from the very beginning, and how much of it was just due to Israel, the way he performed and kind of just freezing Costa in there on the night?
It's really hard to say, but I think that a couple of details, as I mentioned, the change of direction that Adesanya does, and that he started to go to his legs, and all those things together was probably making it hard for Costa. But I also believe that just because it was 5 rounds, that Costa wanted to pace himself a little bit. And I don't think that was a wise choice.
So I got to ask you, man, because obviously Israel, unbelievable clinic. Hats off to him. What a great performance. But if Paulo Costa went out there and actually executed the game plan that he executes against all of his other opponents, do you think he would have had a little bit more success? Do you think he would have at least had some kind of damage, some kind of shot? Or do you think it would still sort of end up the same way we saw it play out later on in this fight?
I think that his chances of winning the fight would have been greater if he took the risk to charge forward and close the distance more and so on. I'm not sure if he would have won the fight or if he would have been successful at all. But I do believe that's his chance to win the fight would definitely be bigger if he did that.
What are your thoughts on Costa now? I know that obviously before the fight you were picking him to be sort of one of the toughest stylistic matchups. Any new thoughts or any changes in your mind as far as, the Costas that you saw yesterday?
No, not really. I still see him as one of the toughest fights, and yeah. I think he's still good. It's just like Adesanya is better. He's a amazing fighter, and when it comes to that stand-up game, it's most of the guys can't hang with him there.
I mean, you were planning on fighting Paulo Costa for the title. Now that you know it's going to be Israel Adesanya most likely, how do you feel about that potential fight now? And sort of how does it feel, the fact that everything sort of switched around now? I guess the scenario would be really different in your mind when you think about that title shot now.
The thing is that I was cheering for Adesanya. I want him to be the champ because he's already the champ, and the more times you defend your title, the greater champ you is, and I want him to be super respected, and I want him to be a big superstar when I fight him, because I want to grab everything that he has, and I believe that if Costa won the fight, he wouldn't be as a big superstar as Adesanya is. So I'm super happy that Adesanya won, and I hope that he continues to win until I fight him. And I want to be the one that dethrones him.
Obviously, Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz, they didn't get a chance to beat John Jones for the light heavyweight title. You could argue that Israel Adesanya has that kind of streak and that kind of momentum that the first person that beats him would be such a big deal. From that perspective, are you sort of hoping that he stays undefeated until you get to him? You still have Darren Till in front of you. Are you hoping that he maintains his championship?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I want him to defend his title one more time, and to really, to become as a great champion as he can before I fight him. The bigger, the greater he is before he falls, the better. So I wish him the best, and I really hope that he stays the champ until I fight him.
He mentioned you at the post-fight presser. Did you see that? He says he wants to test his ground game against you. What did you think about that?
He doesn't want to do that at all. I'm sure he want to fight me, but I'm 100% sure that he doesn't want to fight me on the ground. Not a chance. But it's very likely that he wants a good grappler to test himself against. I can believe that. But that he wants our fight to go to the ground, he doesn't want that, And I think that we can be honest with each other there. He's the superior striker, and I am the superior grappler. But at the same time, I feel like I have the wrestling at my side, I have the ground and pound on my side, and I believe that it's easier to be to create to create opportunities in the striking than it is in the grappling. So overall, I see myself as the better fighter.
What would happen? What would happen on the ground if Israel wanted to test himself against you there?
I don't think he can hang with me there. The grappling is not as quick and dynamic as the striking. It goes slower, and I'm gonna have 100% control in all the situations down there. I don't see him as a threat on the ground at all. The threat is if he can get up on his feet or not.
And that's kind of what makes it a fascinating contest, right? I know previously you spoke about how you felt Whittaker for you was a stylistically tougher matchup. I'm wondering after this Costa fight, Do you keep that stance? Do you still feel Israel is somewhat of an easier matchup than Whittaker? And did you learn anything about Israel from this Costa fight? Kind of wasn't really that long, but as a fighter, when you were sitting there with, I don't know if you have a note and pen paper, but did you learn anything about Israel?
Yeah, you know, he's even greater than I thought, and he's amazing at what he do. But I still feel that Whittaker is probably a harder matchup for me, and that is just because I know what kind of striking styles that I have a problem with in training, and that's why. So I believe that Whittaker is the hardest fight, and you know, it probably doesn't matter how amazing Adesanya looks. I see Whittaker as a tougher matchup for me. But yeah, you never know until you're in there with somebody, right? So.
We want to get your thoughts on this Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier fight quickly in just a second, but while we're talking about this Israel matchup, so many people have sort of gone in there and have attempted to take Israel down up against the cage, and Israel has demonstrated such great takedown defense. I think a lot of people even initially thought, oh, we'll just take him down and we'll submit him. So I'm just wondering, from your perspective, what do you think you would do different to a lot of these guys that have sort of gone in there and, I suppose, attempted to get Israel to the ground? And from your perspective as well, what have they done wrong in trying to get this battle to the ground?
Well, who was the last person that tried that? I can just remember Derek Brunson. Whittaker tried, of course. I can't remember the situations exactly, but it's probably just a timing thing, you know. And I know that I would chain it together, and I would keep the pressure. The hard part is the timing. The finish, I really believe that I would get the finish if I could get in on him. But he has good footwork. His change of direction is good, and it's hard to get that timing and to close that distance. So I think that would be the most important part for me to train on for a fight like that. But if I get a hold of him, I'm pretty sure that I would take him down. You just need to use the right tool there. I believe that both Brunson and Whittaker were too far away when they shot, and they didn't get the good entrance, and that's why they couldn't finish.
And I mean, striking-wise, I know you mentioned that Robert Whittaker is a tougher matchup in the striking department, you believe, for yourself. I'm just wondering, what mistakes do you think people make when they stand up against Israel Adesanya? It feels like so many opponents sort of misjudge him before they get in the octagon and get surprised when they're in there with him. I know you've mentioned that you've got training partners and it's a striking style that you're sort of a bit more familiar with. Do you mind shedding a little bit of light for us in that regard as well?
Yeah, I think you can't try to read him too much, you know. Adesanya has a lot of feints, and he's extremely quick as well. So if you try to read him too much, it's gonna be hard. So you will have to charge, and you will have to move your body to get his body in the position where you want, right? So it's a game of footwork, and with the right footwork, and if you're coming into the right angles, you can catch him when he's circling. So I think that's without telling too much what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's how you're gonna catch him. You know, you have to move in the right way to get him to move in the way where you want. Don't stand in front of him. Don't stand still, and don't try to read him. That's what you shouldn't do. And then what you should do, you'll have to wait and see when I fight him.
Fascinating, right? But that's fascinating because obviously in the Paulo Costa fight, Paulo Costa was biting on almost every single feint, and
Yeah.
it cost him a lot. So what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Last time we spoke to you, Jack, obviously you listed your top 3 ideal opponents. Obviously you wanted Rob first, then maybe Cannonier, and then Darren Till was number 3. You got the number 3 in Darren Till. What was your reaction when you found out that, you know, he's going to be your next opponent?
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I wanted the Whittaker fight so bad, but I understood that he and Cannonier have to fight each other. So I was just like, I hope they don't give me any, other opponent that I don't want. So I was happy with Darren actually. Yeah, I'm looking forward to do a impressive performance against him, and then go to that towards that title.
We've seen the fact that the fight kind of depends on how Darren's knee will be leading into the fight in December. I'm just wondering, have there been any updates for you? Is the fight 100% confirmed yet? Are you still waiting to see if Darren is 100% going to be ready for that fight? And also, how does it feel to know that you kind of have to wait till December to fight again? So much stuff happening in the division. It must be tough to just sit back and watch.
Yeah, I think it's as confirmed as it can be. We have signed the bout agreement, so
you have or you haven't?
We have.
Mm-hmm.
So it should definitely happen, and yeah. It's not a problem to wait until December, because I have so much I want to train, so many things I want to do and develop and so on, and it takes time. So I'm gonna be in a amazing shape in December, and you're gonna see the best Jack Hermansson so far. So I'm really looking forward to it, and for this fight, I almost doesn't feel the tension that I usually do. I'm just looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun, and yeah, I can't wait to everything else that's gonna come. So it's gonna be a good one.
Well, yeah, everything else that's going to come is probably going to be Darren Till doing face swap memes and maybe DMing you. Are you prepared for all of that? And what is your relationship like with Darren Till? Does he ever DM you?
No, the thing is that Darren, like, I was hoping that he would do that. I was hoping that he would make a little buzz, but yeah, it's almost like it doesn't exist in his life. So hopefully he will show me some love soon.
Yeah, okay. I want to sort of read something was sent to us. There's a little back and forth between Israel and Darren Till. Just want to get your thoughts. Israel put up the RAWDOG logo. You're familiar with this one from Darren Till, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he put up the logo, Israel did, and then he said, "This is mine now." And then Darren Till said, "Fight me for it. In fact, beat me and I'll give you 50% of it." And then Israel says, "You couldn't even take 50% of me." Hashtag the real RAWDOG with like 3 eggplant emojis. But last time I checked, Darren Till is fighting you, not Israel Adesanya. So is it safe to say that you're in this RAWDOG sweepstakes as well? What happens if you beat Darren Till? Maybe you take the RAWDOG, company and everything that comes with it.
I think so. I'm gonna definitely go in there and see what my share is gonna be. So yeah, let's put something at stake.
I love it. So it's official. RAWDOG might be on the line in December. Talk to us a little bit about the fight itself, because I know you've spoken to us about Darren Till, and now while he is a good middleweight, you don't think he'd go too well against the top guys in your division. How do you see this matchup going between yourself and him?
I believe that I'm gonna be able to really dominate Darren. He has, like, if I said that Whittaker has a style that it's tough for me, I think Till has not an easy style, but easier. He's quite flat-footed. He's stalking you down, and his arsenal is pretty limited. The things that he does very well, but it's the same things over and over in all of his fights. So no surprises there, and I think it's gonna be relatively easy to prepare for. And yeah, I'm gonna be able to catch him both with the striking, and hopefully I can get a grappling exchange going, and yeah, show him that I'm on another level there, as I've done many times before.
I know Casper read out the tweet with Israel. He put up another tweet as well where he spoke about how after he beats you, maybe if it's dominant enough, he can get a title shot. And I'm just wondering, do you feel like with him constantly talking about the title shot, obviously it's great for promotion, but do you feel like he's kind of overlooking this fight a little bit, maybe overlooking you a little bit going into this fight? It's not really about you at the moment. He hasn't really been tweeting about you much, talking about you much. It's a lot about the title or this RAWDOG sweepstakes that Casper mentioned.
Yeah. Well, if he is underestimating me or looking past me, I think that's going to be a big mistake. I think I present something that not a lot of other people in this division do. So, yeah, when you fight me, you are getting something special, and something that you should prepare for very carefully. Or else it's going to be not a long night, it's going to be a short night for him.
Yeah, well, speaking of short nights, I mean, he's coming into this fight with obviously knee issues that he suffered in the Robert Whittaker fight. Your last win was via heel hook very quickly against Kelvin Gastelum. I'm not expecting you to reveal your game plan, but as a fighter, does a part of you look at that and think, oh, well, there's a potential, weakness or a target for me? And do you also think that, that might even affect, say, his kicking game, with sort of the previous injury and sort of the constant, I don't want to say fear, but the thought in the back of his mind that you might use that to take him down?
No, I don't think too much about it, because I don't want my focus to be there. But at the same time, if I get that knee, I'm going to try to rip it apart, and the same thing I'm gonna do with his healthy knee. So wherever I can get, I'm gonna take it. If it's his neck or his knee or his arm or whatever it is, if I get the opportunity, I'm taking it and I'm going for the finish. It doesn't matter which kind of submission it is or so on. But yeah, I'm gonna try to break that knee, and I'm gonna try to kick it, and do everything I can in my power to get that win. I'm not gonna be cautious at all.
Man, I can't wait for this fight. It's in December, but can it happen tomorrow? I mean, this is going to be a great matchup. Quickly, we appreciate your time. But just quickly, Jack, while we're talking about the division, gotta get your thoughts. I gotta get your thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev, because this man right here has become an overnight sensation. And just overnight alone, he's tweeting at Israel Adesanya about how he wants a title shot. He made quick work of Jared Mearshart, a man that you know yourself very, very well, and made quick work of yourself. I'm wondering, what do you make of this run that he's had and this emergence that he's had in not one but two divisions?
It's very impressive, and I think Khamzat is the real deal. And it's really cool when somebody gets the hype and just continues. Everybody was just like, oh, is he gonna do it this time? And then he just knocks him out in 10 seconds. And it's always cool to watch a superstar grow. And yeah, I'm very impressed by everything he does. I do believe that he will sooner or later stay in the welterweight division, though. Especially when he gets the really, really tough fights. I think it's going to be hard to fight as often as that. If you have if you go through a tough fight, your body's going to be injured, you need recovery time, and so on. So he will definitely have to go into some wars sooner or later, and I think that's probably where he's going to stay, mostly in welterweight. That's my prediction. So I don't think I have to think too much about Khamzat, but I'm looking forward to follow his career. You know, he's young and he's on fire, and it's gonna be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah, okay, good, because we just wanted to sort of clarify that. I mean, do you think, I know you're pretty honest when you break guys down and talk to them about them to us. Do you think Khamzat is a guy that would be able to hang in there with the top guys in the middleweight division?
Too early to tell. Too early to tell. I think you know, he's the real deal. I know it because I've trained with him. So I know that he's good. But it's you know,
you guys have sparred before and trained before, and
yeah.
Wow, look at this, some inside information coming over here from
and but competition is another thing, but as for now it seems like he really rises to the occasion, and it just looks amazing so far. So I don't know, man. I believe in the guy, and I'm not sure if he should fight the top yet, but yeah, I don't know. I believe in him, and I believe he's gonna do great things. But I wanna, yeah. If he's ready right now, I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah.
With those sort of training and sparring sessions between you guys, were they the kind of ones that you walked away pretty confident from afterwards?
If I did, or
yeah, like when you sparred with him and trained with him, were they the kind of sparring sessions and training sessions where you walked away pretty confident, you know, after sparring with him? You know what I'm asking.
That was a nice way to ask. But, you know,
but you saw right through it.
I'm following the secret sparring code, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing will be revealed.
Well, we were just testing you on that, Jack, and you passed with flying colors. So congratulations. let's and just quickly, I know you just mentioned that. Hey, you know, not the top guys. Yeah. Do you think there's a chance UFC can kind of go a little bit crazy here? I mean, they were trying to book him against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for his next fight, and you know, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, one of the best welterweights in the division, a guy that's fought for the title a couple of times, a very difficult matchup. And if it wasn't him, you know, people are talking about guys like Leon Edwards and all sorts of fighters. Do you think it's a case where the UFC needs to be careful and not push this guy too quickly? And a great example of that is even your opponent, Darren Till, who you're fighting in December. A lot of people argue he got pushed very, very quickly in the welterweight division himself and should have probably had a little bit of time to grow before he made it to that title fight. Do you think that Khamzat's in that kind of danger if the UFC just throw him in there straight away into those welterweight eliminators?
I think it's dangerous, but at the same time, with great risks comes great rewards. So if we just look back at Conor McGregor's career, we're just like, oh, he did it. He did it again and again and again. And then he became this massive superstar. And I believe that if Khamzat can continue to nail those fights and make the kind of performance that he has been doing so far, you know, he's gonna rise to that level, and that's something that he wants, and that's something that the UFC wants. So I can understand that they're willing to take that risk, and even though should he lose, then hopefully he has that kind of mentality that he's able to come back from that and continue to fight, you know. So it's dangerous, and myself in that position, I would definitely feel the pressure, but it doesn't seem like it's facing him. So I think he should continue with it and just roll and yeah, see how far he can go with this. You know, I think there's a lot to win. He has already became a super MMA celebrity, so. Yeah, imagine what a few more wins can do for him. So I think it's a good move, actually.
Yeah. We don't want to take up all your time, Jack, because it's like, I think, 10:30 at night, so we'll let you go in a second. I just want to get a couple of quick predictions. The first one is obviously Rob Whittaker and Jared Cannonier at UFC 254. Obviously, you'll be keeping an eye on it. Who do you think emerges victorious for that one?
I believe that Whittaker will win, actually. I think that style-wise, it's going to be hard for Cannonier. With those, Whittaker is extremely good to close the distance really quick, and Cannonier doesn't have the reach to keep him away. I think that's going to be hard for him to handle. I give Whittaker the edge in that one.
And the other big fight, not too far away, that I'm sure you're looking forward to as well, is this Khabib Justin Gaethje title unification fight. And I mean, this is a fight we've been looking forward to for quite some time. How do you think that plays out? Do you think Justin Gaethje is the guy to give Khabib that loss in the octagon?
Well, you always have to have Khabib as the favorite. He's undefeated. He has barely lost a round in his career. So he's the favorite, of course. But if anybody can do it, it's probably Justin Gaethje. So, man, I'm looking forward to that fight.
There you go. And then there's, of course, your fight, December 5th against Darren Till himself. You're taking necks, you're taking knees, healthy ones, bad ones, and you're in it for the RAWDOG sweepstakes. We can't wait, man. Hopefully we get a chance to chat to you before the fight to delve even deeper into it. Follow the man on Twitter and Instagram at Jack the Joker MMA. We could chat to you all day and all night, Jack, especially with the beautiful smile, man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, guys. Always a pleasure.